are doing a walk in a neighborhood near us. And actually, it's a neighborhood where we are doing a project right now. And it is a brand new neighborhood. Well, it probably started in 1718. But we've watched it go up. And the houses back then started, what were they, Rob? 800,000, I guess?
Initially about 450.
Oh, he said 450. So, and now they are well over $1 million. So we would go in them during construction. And I have to say, what we saw was just appalling. And one thing that I really urge you, if you are buying a new home, like a new home, or having a home built, it is so incredibly important to hire an inspector. So that's the inspector that you hire. Because let me tell you, these city inspectors, they don't have time to come in and do any inspections the way that they should. And you need an inspector that's going to come in and inspect it the whole way through. My parents hired one. Thankfully, they listened to us. And I think they did 5, 6 point, 7 point inspection. Not only that, but of course Rob and I would go down multiple times and walk through the house. We did a walkthrough before they ever closed, and I can't tell you how many times we made them redo stuff. So it's super important that you hire an inspector. And we realize that we're in the business, but one of the things that we're doing on this 1.2 million brand new spanking house, we have ripped out every single cabinet in this house because it's particle board. Cabinets look great just looking at them, but when you looked up underneath the cabinets, they weren't even finished. You could see the particle board edges. And the homeowners were just, this is not acceptable. So they brought us in and we reconfigured the island. We did so much. New flooring. You could see the powder room from the front door. They didn't like that. So we flipped it to the closet behind. And of course it's going to look a lot better once we're done. But, even when we've been doing the project, we have found things like live wires that were just shoved in the walls. I could go on and on. There has been so much that we have found, and we thought about bringing it to the attention of our city inspectors. Pros and cons of doing that. But, big thing is, everyone, hire an inspector. Bring people in that are experts to work with you. I realize the builder always says, oh, we have inspectors, but they're looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for you. The other thing is, if you're buying an existing home, the inspector that you hire doesn't look at everything. They don't. They've got the key things that they're supposed to look at. But I can't tell you how many times we have gone into homes to start remodeling, and we encounter so many problems. And I'm not just talking small problems. I am talking problems that amount to tens of thousands of dollars. So, a couple of things when you go to buy an existing home. You need to go to that city or county and ask for all of the inspections that have ever been done on that property. Here in our city, if you put in a new water heater, you need an inspection. If you change the plumbing, you need an inspection. If you do an addition, you need an inspection. I mean, what are some of the other things, Rob, that you need an inspection for?
Windows, HVAC, anytime you're going to move plumbing or add electrical components.
Right, so I don't know if you heard him, but let's say your electrical panel has to be updated, you need an inspection. If you're going to add plumbing, you need an inspection. And here in our city, every year, you need an inspection for your irrigation. So has that been updated? If they pour a new driveway, you need an inspection. So some cities, they're not like ours, but that is the key thing. That is the number one thing that we find out. Sellers do not disclose a lot. And the sad thing is, there are no ramifications. It is so expensive to go after them and sue them. And you can't get your attorney costs back. So I would just say, get somebody to come in, other than just the inspector that you hire, to really look over the property. Somebody that has been in the industry, that, yes, you will have to pay them, but they know what to look for. We have had light switches that didn't do anything, but then we found the light switch worked for a bedroom upstairs. I mean, how screwy is that, right? So, or when we've torn stuff open, they have put electrical on the front of studs and then put the drywall right on top. So if anybody ever nailed right into it, they'd have quite the surprise. So y'all, really do your due diligence so that you're not stuck later on. And one of the key things too is to talk to neighbors, because they'll tell you a lot of times if they've had problems. I'm thinking about this one house where it was major structural work, and I think they had to spend an additional $20,000-$30,000 while we were doing their remodel, because they had serious foundation work. They did not disclose it. And then when they started talking to the neighbors were like, oh yeah, we remember when they were doing all that. Well, you know what? The sellers never disclosed it. We put them in contact with our construction attorney, and he basically said, in Texas, you can't get my fees back. My fees will be more than you'll ever get for what you're having to pay Rob and Robin. Y'all, that's sad. Really sad. So I'm telling you now, do your due diligence up front, especially on older homes. And any home built pre-78, has to have lead testing. I would get somebody to come in and do that. I realize you sign a disclosure that says that there may be lead. We just worked on a house recently. What was it built in, Rob? It was built in what, the 80s? The popcorn ceiling that had asbestos?
Yeah, asbestos.
Yeah.
No lead, but asbestos.
Yeah, no lead, but asbestos. And we had to bring somebody in to remediate that. We don't do asbestos. So that's another one. That was a first for us. We've never had that. So there's lots of unknowns, and you've got to do your due diligence, y'all. So that's my Sunday morning tip as we're out walking on this beautiful sunny Texas day. And hope y'all have a great day. And remember, my health tip, get out there and exercise. My good friend Alyssa Berry says live life boldly. And I'll tell you, part of living life boldly is being the best that you can be for your family, your friends, and most importantly, yourself. So get out there, do your exercise, get your checks, and have an awesome day, y'all.